Okay. Awesome. So thanks everyone for taking the time this morning to join Bot Supply and Evosys in this Ask Me Anything session. The session is mainly focused on chatbots and artificial intelligence, and the idea of this Ask Me Anything, it's exactly the opportunity for us to engage with all the attendees today in an open conversation on these topics. So the idea behind it is that hopefully, if you've joined, you might be interested in hearing more about chatbots and artificial intelligence, and you might actually have some questions about chatbots. So the idea here is that you shouldn't be shy at all, and any kind of question, doubt, idea that you might have, we are here to answer and share our knowledge and experience on this topic. Before we get into the session itself, maybe both me from Bot Supply and Arpan from Evosys can spend just a couple of minutes introducing each other. And Arpan, maybe you want to start?
Yeah, sure. Good morning and good afternoon, everyone, based on where they are calling from. I'm Arpan Makwana, and I'm heading the innovation practice for Evosys globally. And we are investing a lot on technologies like chatbot, artificial intelligence, RPA, machine learning, IoT kind of applications. And yeah, we've got a great amount of success when it comes to chatbot and artificial intelligence kind of implementations in this region as well as across the globe. So just a little bit more about Evosys. So we are Oracle's platinum partners, and we implement Oracle solutions, and we've got like presence in more than 30 odd countries, which gives us good amount of experience to implement not only ERP applications but these kind of technologies that help to improve the overall organization performance as well. Thank you. Yeah, over to you, Francisco.
And from me, my name is Francesco Stasi. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Bot Supply. Bot Supply is a company based out of Copenhagen, Denmark. Just legally, because at the end of the day, we are a remote company. We have been a remote company since 2016. So in that regards, COVID hasn't really affected us. We were already, in that kind of mindset. Since 2016, we've been helping enterprises around the world entering what we call the conversational era. And especially over the last couple of years, we've been working heavily within the Oracle ecosystem, building chatbots integrated with all sorts of Oracle applications and softwares. And Evosys and Bot Supply are working a lot together in bringing chatbots to even more Oracle customers around the world. So that was it from my side as a quick introduction, and I will leave it to our guests to share again questions, doubts, ideas, opportunities. Hopefully we can answer them all in the next 20 minutes. So don't be shy, ask.
So yeah, you can unmute yourself and ask questions, or you can post us your questions in the chat box and we'll try to answer them.
So I see someone is writing me in my private chat, but I will share with you. So someone is asking me, can I integrate chatbots with other Oracle SaaS applications? The answer is yes, in the sense that The beauty of chatbots is that you can actually integrate them with any sort of software, as long as that software has open APIs that we can connect with. Then you can actually integrate a chatbot with let's say Oracle HCM, Oracle ERP, Hospitality, any Oracle SaaS application that you might have in use. You can also integrate chatbots with other backend systems, say your CRM, Salesforce, your Genesis software, Jira, everything that has an API connection can be integrated with a chatbot. Next.
Just to add on top of that very quickly, so as Francisco rightly mentioned, we are talking about applications. So yes, we can easily integrate with Oracle and non-Oracle applications, but I would just like to state few business function related chatbots. So for example, HR self-service. So we want everyone to access their HR application activities like raising leave request, or let's say approving timesheets, raising expenses for approval. So all that can be done from a chatbot. And if you look at other areas of business like recruitment or finance, supply chain, vendor payment status, so let's say invoices status if vendor want to inquire. Similarly, management reporting. So management reporting is one of the good use cases that we have implemented at a few customer places. So you can directly get all the management reports on your mobile phone. So now you can invoke these management reports either from your native device applications like Siri or Google Assistant or Alexa.
I'm listening.
And similarly, you can also invoke all the management. So these management reports can be financial reports or qualitative reports, or it can be like statistical reports. So you can just say, hey Siri, can you please get me the variance analysis of last month? And it'll get you the expenses versus what profit you made in which area, which department. So that gives you independence of getting these management reports on your mobile phone directly. So these are few use cases that we've implemented in relation to the business applications itself.
And just to add, Arpan, you mentioned Hey Siri. So here we're talking about chatbots, but the whole discussion can extend to voice bots as well. Voice bots on Siri, Alexa, your Google Assistant. Let's see, maybe there will be question later on about channels, but voice bots are also something that we provide to our customers. Okay, next question. I have something here in my private chat around around implementation time. So when we talk about implementation of a chatbot, we are creating a chat. The beauty of chatbots is that they are an extremely flexible and easy to deploy solution. But as every kind of software, especially when it's customer facing, you might wanna put additional care and additional focus on what we call conversational design, which is a specific branch of design thinking that specifically focuses on creating good conversational experiences. We like to say that we are talking about a new way of interacting between humans and machines. Okay, something that maybe 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago we were not really doing. We were not talking with our Google assistants until a few years ago, right? So the importance of creating a good customer experience is actually crucial in designing a successful and implementing a successful chatbot. So we have both Bot Supply and Evosys have been working on what we call the conversational design methodology, which is a series of different activities and steps that we go through while building while designing a chatbot. These activities can be something like, there is a kickoff workshop, then we can get into prototyping a first version of the chatbot. We can user test it with a small pool of end users. We then go back to the drawing board and kind of take the feedback that we got from the user testings into consideration, and then create a new prototype, retest it, and then we get into into this loop until we have a final solution. All this process can be according to the timeline, according to the budget, can last 3 months, 4 months, but it can also last maybe 2 weeks. So it varies heavily depending on your priority, depending on the scope of the project. But this is to say that the actual implementation of the chatbot can vary quite a lot. Also based on whether we are integrated backend systems within the chatbot or not. Usually what we see is that if you wanna just do a small POC, for example, and you just wanna automate, let's say 20 FAQs on your website, that is something that we can get up and running in just a couple of weeks. If you wanna have a full-blown solution integrated with the 1, 2, or 3 backend systems that covers a wider spectrum of FAQs and use cases, then it could also take a couple of months, 3 months, and so on. So it actually varies. It varies a lot according to, again, the scope and the timeline that you as a customer have. Hope, I don't know, Arpan, if you have anything to add. Otherwise, I hope that this answered the question.
I've got another question here which talks about whether the chatbot or digital assistant can get the conversation history or the profile of the person who is interacting, so that that makes more context sensitive interaction or context sensitive conversation with the person who is interacting. So yes, when you have, let's say if I am interacting with the chatbot knows what my preferences are or what questions I have asked earlier, like frequently asked questions, so it understands and then builds the responses based on that context and sends it back to me. So those are more personalized kind of responses that I get, rather than just generic answers that is given to everyone. So chatbot can really personalize the overall experience and make sure that you get the right output or right result from the query that you're posting to it. So yeah, it is a very context sensitive application. So this kind of an interaction really applies in your HR solutions or customer centric solutions, or it can be even automated on a call center. So let's say if there are people who are asking questions through a customer service center, then the chatbot can realize if this is a new or existing customer, and if it's an existing customer, then it will pull back the history or conversation. That's where the artificial intelligence comes into play, right? So we want the chatbot to be intelligent enough rather than just giving generic answers to everyone. So that's where the chatbot will use the AI feature or the machine learning feature of the backend, and then give you personalized responses. So that can, we've seen organizations also reducing a lot of workload on the call center. So rather than getting hundreds of calls, thousands of calls in a month, you can reduce the overall number of calls and divert all these queries through a chatbot. So if the chatbot is not able to answer the questions, then yes, the chatbot can do a handoff to the live agent, and the live agent can get the discussions that have been done with the customer on the chatbot, and then take it forward. So yeah, it's a smooth, seamless mechanism that can come into play and reduce your overall workload on the number of employees that you have in the organization.
And when we talk about handover to human agents, that can happen in any kind of help desk solution that you might have in use. It could be Oracle Service Cloud, it could be Genesis, it could be Salesforce, Zendesk, Freshdesk, ServiceNow, any kind of help desk solution is actually eligible to be integrated with the chatbot and allow human agents to take over the conversation whenever needed. I just wanted to add something, Arpan, on the customization that you mentioned. I don't know if any of the attendees here uses solutions like BlueKai, which is a data management platform from Oracle. I guess there are many other similar companies and solutions doing the same, but you can also personalize the chatbot based on the cookies that a website visitor brings with himself or herself when visiting your website. So according to the cookies that this person has and is associated with, then you can actually prompt a different chatbot, a different flow within the chatbot to really target that specific person with what that person is looking for. So there is actually a wide spectrum of activities that can be carried on to really personalize the chatbot experience to an extreme level. Okay, I see in my private chat another question, and this time we are talking about languages. Okay, the question is about we are a multinational company and we have operation in 4 different countries. What languages do you cover? So that's a good question, in the sense that we cover our chatbots can speak 27 different languages. We have created our own natural language processing framework that covers, of course, English and 27 more languages. So covering Arabic, Chinese, Spanish, Portuguese, and all the other European languages. We are from Copenhagen, so we also cover all the Scandinavian languages: Danish, Swedish, Norwegian, Icelandic, German, French, Italian. So that gives enterprise customers the ability of deploying a similar chatbot, but in many different regions around the world. Because even in the enterprise, maybe everyone speaks English, but if you are deploying a chatbot in, let's say, in Italy, maybe you want to have an Italian-speaking chatbot. So this natural language processing engine does not rely on translation services like Google Translate. These are 27 native languages.
Yeah, I'd also like to add the regional flavor for Middle East here. So if we talk about Middle East, then we've also got an Arabic support. So and we have implemented I think like 5 different places in Saudi Arabia and few places in UAE where our customer wanted Arabic as the language of interaction. So we've done that for our customers here. And I would say one of the customers is a conglomerate. So they have got food and beverage, and they've got malls and retail kind of business. So it's a multiple line of business that they have. So in this organization, we have done an extensive level of management reporting for them, as well as the entire group. So they had an issue of managing queries for thousands of employees in the organization. So we deployed a chatbot. So chatbot answers most of their queries on the HR from a policy perspective, and even from the management reporting, it saves them a lot of time and effort. So this is a classic case. Again, as I said, this utilizes English as well as Arabic languages here, and the chatbot can easily give you graphs or reports as you want from the backend applications. So it talks to multiple backend applications. You don't need to implement multiple chatbots. Just one chatbot can interact with multiple backend applications and get you a result. So it's as simple as that. So if I want to say I want to raise a leave request, it knows it needs to go back into the HR application and create a leave request for me. Similarly, if I want to approve a PO, it knows it has to go back into the finance module in the ERP and approve the PO for me. So that's the level of intelligence that the chatbot would have, and you can access multiple backend applications from one common window or a common chatbot. So that's the ease of use.
I just want to add two things, Arpan, on this topic. The first one, when it comes to the languages, you mentioned Arabic. We are about to release voice Arabic technology, so that we can have a native Arabic speech to text and text to speech as well. Which I think it's very important for the enterprises in the region, because then they can have their own models deployed within their cloud. So when it comes to data security, data privacy, everything happens within their cloud environment. And the second thing you mentioned, for example, approval of POs, invoices, and so on. Something that we see more and more requested by our customers is integration with RPA solutions. I know that you guys at Ebosys work a lot with RPA, and you can integrate a chatbot and an RPA bot. So the chatbot can take care of the conversational aspect of interacting with a supplier, a vendor, a customer, whoever that might be. For example, identifying who that supplier, that vendor is. And then once the PO is issued, then the RPA can take care of the rest, and maybe going in, extracting information from the PO and saving this information on your CRM system. So I think that the intersection of RPA and conversational AI will be stronger and stronger going forward.
And that's a great point, Francisco, because we would want the chatbot to be as independent as possible. So it's good to integrate the chatbot with RPA or with backend applications like finance, HR, planning, budgeting. So all these applications can be easily integrated with the chatbot, and this gives you the overall return on investment. So yes, you can start with one or two use cases. Like, let's say if you just want to get the management reporting back from your planning and budgeting application, or finance auditing from the finance application, you can start with a couple of use cases, but then when you expand it, you will see the real usage and real output of the chatbot that way. So we've seen organizations going on to that roadmap and achieving the full ROI of implementing a chatbot in a corporate environment.
Arpan, I see a question around HR. Maybe that's something that you want to take.
Yeah, sorry, can you tell me the question, please?
It says, suppose an employee needs to know with whom the transaction is pending with. Is this possible?
Yes, absolutely. So if there is let's say I'm raising a leave request, and there are two managers who need to approve this. So I can just say that is my leave approved or not, or where is it pending? So I can clearly see that. So what we are doing is basically, see, if you can, we've got access to the HR application, right? So all that you can do in HR application, you can do that from a chatbot. So what we're doing is essentially we are providing you an easy to use interface using a chatbot, so that you can do all these activities from a chatbot rather than having logging to applications like 5 or 10 different applications that you have in the environment. So essentially, you're getting a common interface wherein you don't have to click multiple places. You just have to type or speak, and your job is done. So all that you can do in your applications, you can do it from a chatbot. Does that answer the question then?
Hopefully so. So we are about to run out of our time. I think that we might have space for a last question. And one of the questions that I received in my private chat is about channels. Yeah, channels is always one of the most more frequently asked questions around chatbots, and we can basically deploy chatbots on any channel. If we're talking about an internal chatbot, it could be on Microsoft Teams, it could be on Google Chat. If we're talking about a customer-facing chatbot, it could also be on your website, Facebook Messenger, WhatsApp, Viber. So it really depends on where your customers are, and but we can basically deploy a chatbot on any kind of channel. Also, as we mentioned before, Alexa, Google Home, Siri. So the flexibility in actually deploying chatbots is very wide. Okay, so I think we are out of time. Arpan, I don't know if you have any final comment on what could be next steps for the attendees interested in taking the conversation forward.
Absolutely. So here we are offering a free POC to organizations who really want to look into chatbots, and we are offering this as a part of our current webinar. So we would be launching a poll. We are just asking if you are interested in getting a free POC. So this POC, as Francisco rightly mentioned, so we will create this use case or the scenario as per your organization environment, and provide this free POC using a chatbot. So that you can show it to your management, or you can see or get views from different people in the organization how it works in your environment. So yeah, we are just hosting a poll here. So you can just mention if you're interested in a free POC. We will note down your details and we'll get back to you after this.
Exactly. I will just keep the poll open for the next 10 seconds, and then I'll close it. Last 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, perfect. Then Arpan, I think that we can thank all of our attendees. Thanks for taking the time today to join us in this Ask Me Anything session on chatbots and artificial intelligence, and we look forward to taking the conversation to the next level with you all. Thanks a lot for your time, and we'll talk soon.
Have a good day. Bye.
Have fun. Have a good day.